Hello, Eve. I've been wanting to make a video for a long time, and I finally decided that this is it. I want to share my dual box Tengu C5 ratting setup with you. So let's get into it. This is a setup for C5 core strongholds. And in this video I'm going to be ratting in a black hole wormhole. So that will increase my range, my explosion velocity, and my ship velocity, which are all important when you're trying to sig tank battleships on a C5 core stronghold. So here we go. I'm warping in at 0 to the core stronghold. Checking my missiles. I've got Javelin loaded, which gives me extra range and better precision for frigates, as well as the towers. So I'm going to start with my main and bring him a little to the side. I'll get a little transversal for these towers and have my alt follow him with both with afterburners on. So because this is a black hole, I'm pretty much getting double speed from what I would normally get with this afterburner. It's just a 10 MN afterburner. So I'm going to get closer to these Orthrus towers, and then I'm going to start orbiting the center structure at about 30 kilometers. Now ideally here I should be shooting those frigates. They are the triggers for the next wave, but if you take out 3 of them, then that's 3 less scrams on you, because all of those frigates will scram you. On this one I decided to shoot the tower first, though. That's because I'm doing this on CC, so there's not really any fear of anybody killing me. So now I'm coming into orbit. I take out this first tower, and I've locked up the 3 frigates I want to kill. I leave the other one unlocked just so that I don't accidentally trigger the next wave. Start locking up my other Orthrus towers. I've got precision tracking script loaded, which doesn't increase my range, but if I had the range script in, I'd be getting about 80 kilometers with these Javelin missiles. More than enough to take out all of these towers in a 30-kilometer orbit around the center structure. So this entire site takes about 28 minutes with 2 Tengus. I got this fit from, I can't remember who the YouTuber was, but he posted a C5 Frontier Barracks Tengu fit. I use the same one, and it works great for C5s as well. I also tested core garrison in the black hole, and with the extra speed boost and range, you can actually run a core garrison with these two Tengus as well. Only in a black hole, though. I haven't tested anything else, but the webs are pretty significant everywhere else. So I know some people like to leave these towers, but with the Tengus, you saw how much damage I was taking when we warped into the site. It would get pretty hairy if you left them up for the other waves when you have to break orbit around these things. But even with taking the towers out, it's still only about 28 minutes of clear time. I probably could be using Rage with these and clear them a little bit faster, but I like to be able to take the frigates out quickly. And I don't want to have to switch back to Javelin for the frigate. So the next wave is 6 Emergent Keepers and 3 Sleepless Sentinels, battleships. There's about 72 gigajoules of newt pressure. Oh no, sorry, that's core garrison. My bad. The next wave is 2 Sleepless Keepers and 2 Sleepless Wardens. So 24 gigajoules of newt pressure and 146 remote reps from the Wardens. Wardens are the trigger. So you just put in a lazy 20-kilometer orbit around one of the Wardens and start shooting the Keepers, who will be putting the newt pressure on you, but you don't really have to worry about it. The newts will not cap you out in core Stronghold at all. So now I have my Rage in, because you want that against these battleships for obviously faster clear. This is nice and easy. The battleships don't even touch you. You see every shot they take is a miss. You could pretty much turn your shield booster off and you wouldn't really take any damage, or it'd be minor. So if you were feeling cap pressure because of your skills or something, once you're in orbit, you know, just watch your modules. Turn your shield rep off if you have to. And the Keepers are down. Now we go on to the Wardens. It's best to focus damage on one of the battleships at a time just to get it down faster. And because they do rep each other, helps break through the reps. The final wave is a heavy rep, which is why you can't do this with one Tengu, at least in a normal C5. You probably wouldn't be able to do it in here because you wouldn't be able to break the reps. In a Magnetar, you should be able to solo a core Stronghold. Just because your raw damage is so high. So now we're about 12 minutes in. We'll have the second wave down. The third wave is going to be 6 emergent wardens who will scram and web and newt you. Those are the frigates. And 7 awakened sentinels which will web you. So this is a full web wave. You're going to want to take the frigates out first, because the sentinels, the cruisers, are the trigger, and the frigates are the scrammers. So lock up, change to javelin for the extra precision. Lock up all those frigates and start shooting. And on this one, you're going to want to keep the same plane that you're flying in, and if you look from the structures back to the warp in of the site, that green spot there, you want to go to the right of that about 80 kilometers or so, because that is where the final wave of 5 battleships and 4 cruisers is going to spawn. And you do not want to approach that wave from 70 or 80 kilometers away, because you will take heavy damage on approach. So if you can get yourself in position before they spawn, which this wave is perfect for because it's all cruisers and frigates and they keep up to you pretty quickly. So you can just drag them with you as you move yourself into position for the last wave or the last spawn. So my alt is a little slow because he's got all the webs on him right now. My main has pulled ahead, and he's, yes, 57, 65 kilometers away. Really nice having the javelin, and if I'd switched to the range script, I would have been able to shoot all these cruisers, no problem. For some reason, I kept it on precision the whole time. But range is definitely much better in this instance, because I would have 80 kilometer missile range. But even without the range script, I still have pretty good range. I think it's like 65 or 60, something like that, with javelins. So I'm going to kill off a few of these cruisers, and then I'm just going to end up orbiting one of the wrecks. I think what I do first here is orbit my alt, and my alt orbit me. But when I get a few good positioned wrecks, I'll just orbit the wreck and get my alt following my main again. And this wave goes by really quickly because it's all frigates and cruisers. We're at 15 minutes in now. We got 5 cruisers left. And again, it's best to focus all of your DPS on one at a time, I find, just to get those webs off you as fast as possible and mitigate some of the damage. But your rep is more than capable of tanking all the damage, even if you're not SIG tanking. If this was Magnetar, you'd be doing about 2,000 DPS with the 2 Tengus, with javelins in, and then it gets crazy if you got rage in. But of course your range is pretty limited with rage. I think I can only hit about 31 with the script in for range in a Magnetar. Even with this, with the javelins in, I'm doing a bit over 1,000 DPS right now with 2 Tengus. Maybe 1,100 DPS. It's 5 something each with javelins. The other reason to get into position, especially if you're not in a black hole, is you can start hitting the final wave right away. If you have to approach from 70 or 80 kilometers away, you got all that time in between where you're not able to hit anything. So if you can get yourself right in position, you can start applying damage immediately. All right, our last cruiser here, and then we are on to our final wave. So again, we got 5 battleships and 4 cruisers. There's 4 awakened wardens, which are the cruisers, and they all rep. And there's 3 sleepless wardens, which are the battleships, and they all rep. And there's 2 sleepless keepers, which will newt you for about 24 gigajoules. Again, newt pressure is not a problem with this fit. But now you're going to want to orbit one of the battleships at 20. Lock up those cruisers because you want to get as much reps off the field as you can, as fast as you can. You could put rage in for this. I don't know if I did it, but you'll be better off with rage. I think I might switch to rage in a minute. And again, focus all your DPS on one at a time so you can break through those reps. Yeah, he's repping pretty hard here, so I don't think I had my my rage in right away. And again, the nice thing about being in a black hole is your explosion velocity is bonused. So with rage, you'll be able to hit these cruisers much harder. Yeah, there I switched to, I finally switched to rage there. So we're at about 20 minutes now. 8 more minutes and this whole wave will be cleared. And this wave obviously is the final, so there's no particular order as far as triggers you have to worry about. Just don't shoot the DTA trigger, because that will spawn the drifter. And you don't want that when you're flying Tengus. The Sleepless Keepers are the trigger for the DTA. Final cruiser. I can't remember what I do next, but you're probably better off to get the wardens because again, they rep. So the more reps you have off the field, the faster you'll be able to clear everything. And you see that the battleships all just miss me. As long as you're in orbit around them, at around 20 or 30 kilometers, they really can't touch you at all with the AB on. Of course, if you were webbed and going very slow, then you'd be in trouble. You see, I turned my my shield repper off there. Of course, they're not actually hitting my main at this point, but I turned it off on my alt as well, and there was no damage I was taking. So just to show that if you are struggling with cap, you can play around with that and just manage your modules, which will manage your cap. Four battleships left. I think I've left the one that I'm orbiting unlocked, just so I don't accidentally break my orbit if I'm not paying attention. Now I've locked him up and he's at the end. So once I'm in position, if I've got everything locked up, I'll usually just reiterate orbit on the one on my final lock chain. Again, just so that I'm not breaking my orbit and traveling off somewhere that out of range, or losing my transversal and getting hit by their guns. Just a little bit of footage minus the UI.
Has run out of charges.
So we're down to 3 battleships, 25 minutes and 50 seconds. And these last 2 will be gone in about 2 minutes. And this is 2000 DPS with 2 Tengus and using Rage. So these battleships just melt. This, of course, is not as fast as using a Marauder or Dread or whatever else most C5 Ratters use. But I don't like flying a Marauder. I move around in wormholes a lot, and I don't want to carry it with me. I don't fly a Dread. And I want to be able to rat C5s and C4s and rat wherever I am, basically. And the Tengu is perfect. At least for me. And with a 28-minute clear time on a core Stronghold, I'm still pulling in almost 500 mil an hour. I do use some implants with this fit, but it's mid-grade crystals and some mid-grade missile implants.
A module has run out of charges.
And there we go. 28 minutes and 20 seconds from warp in to clear. Now I'm going to take them into a vital core reservoir and rat that. So that's my my core Stronghold ratting Tengus in a C5.
Warp drive active.
Less than 30 minutes, 234,900,000 in blue loot. And that's about just under 500 mil an hour. Thanks for watching.